session from Japan today with Dean Kono from the Keio University Business School. I'm delighted to be able to introduce Dean Kono today. He has been a great supporter of the consortium, and he has served with distinction as Dean at Keio, which is Japan's primary or premier university. So Dean Kono, thank you for being with us at this time, because I know it is apart from anything else 7 o'clock in the evening for you, and we really appreciate your call. So I hand over to you now.
Yeah, thank you, David. Hello, everybody. It's still 7 o'clock in the evening. It's still a working hour in Japan, and I'm happy to talk with you about my experience, my viewpoint about Japanese manufacturing, including reactions toward COVID-19 situations. I'd like to share with you my slides and talk with you about the how we should react and prepare for the impact of the COVID-19 situation, especially from the viewpoint of manufacturing. Next slide, please. And this slide tells you my background. My field is production and operations management, meaning my specialty is industrial engineering and rather shop floor management. And I've done a lot of field work in manufacturing companies, and I'm curious about the managerial impact of Kaizen activities and how to sustain and support Kaizen activities. And of course, I'm interested in impact and reactions about the COVID-19 situations, which is prolonged rather than we have expected before. And my sense, personal sense, is that there is a big, huge uncertainties and concerns. And many people say things are not optimistic, and how we should react, sales are decreasing, unemployment, and a bad economy, and things like that. And my impression is that some companies, or many companies, including manufacturing companies in Japan, are, frankly speaking, floating around. That is, in my understanding, not appropriate, not desirable to cope with COVID-19 situation. And what I want to tell you is that companies with continuous Kaizen activities has fundamental strength or culture or competitive edge in quality, cost, delivery, and further supporting functions about the improvement activities. That is my sense. So I'd like to share my way of thinking with you at this session. Next slide, please. This slide explains, shows my fundamental standpoint. Horizontal means time frame, consider corona impact. The bold line means the past up to present, and the March 2020 we had the big impact coming from China, mainly from China, and in Japan the situation became very serious, worse in March, and currently at present is already September. And future is quite uncertain, big uncertainties. Then what we'd like to say, and we'd like to pay attention, is that the sales and the value adding and cost. Many companies has experienced big decrease in sales, especially in the first quarter, meaning April to June this year. Even in automobile industries, some factories in China were forced to close down, and therefore sales were very small amount. And so many companies has experienced big decrease in sales, meaning that they had the necessity, they felt the necessity to decrease cost, both in terms of fixed cost and variable cost. And toward the future, many still say that sales will be decreasing further. And how much we can decrease cost may create the new world of the value added, meaning that if we succeed in the cost reduction, then we can enjoy almost same value added, meaning the profit, and some surplus toward future investment. But if we fail in cost reduction, then the naturally value added will be decreasing, and therefore we need to decrease labors and investment and some other positive activities. That is the reaction of the many companies. And next slide, please. And that is, this slide means tells you my two examples. One case is leading LED company called Stanley Electric. At this company, I'm serving as a board member, and there was a plant in Wuhan in China. Therefore, already in February, this president and the board members of this company were very serious about the situation. And when I went to the company in February, the situation in Japan was not so serious. Many people had slight concerns, but optimistic in February. But all the people in Stanley Electric wear masks, and even president wear mask, and even at the board meeting, he did not speak out loudly. That was the situation. And that company has quickly changed in the telework. Not all employees go to the headquarters. Rather, they stop commuting and do business at home. This was a sort of a trial. And from April, there was a sort of the emergency, almost close to lockdown situation. And for 2 months, almost all companies were required to do business at home. In Japan, there was not lockdown, but there were strong request from the government to decrease the number of people to commute to companies. And Stanley Electric was moving far ahead of other companies. And the next case is my university. Honestly speaking, Keio University is a big name, leading university in Japan, but there was no BCP function, business contingency, continuity, planning function. And people, faculty members, all deans, and even president of the university were just waiting and see the situation, doing almost nothing. And early April, which is the starting point of new school year in Japan, suddenly the campus was closed, locked down. Nobody, no student, no faculty, no staff members. After the announcement of just 1 day later, campus was closed. And I'm doing this broadcasting, this session at home. Still, even at present, it's quite difficult to go to our campus and do teaching from the campus. Quite prolonged, almost doing nothing, watching the situation, waiting and see how society reacts. That is the situation frankly speaking, of my university. So the reaction of companies, and another second case is my university, but the reactions of companies, not in the same direction. One type go very quickly, move very quickly, well prepared, and others will staying behind and waiting that with the hope that the situation will get better soon, but that will not happen in my understanding. And next slide, please. And I will explain how Toyota Motor Automobile Company reacted toward the coronavirus situation. Toyota is very well known about Toyota production system, and Toyota's sales decreased in the first quarter, fiscal year quarter, meaning April to June, but Toyota's sales will return to normal or more than previous year by the end of December, it is said. Still, with this very optimistic forecast, Toyota has announced to further reduce fixed cost on August 6th in the amount of 20 billion yen, 160 million euro during past 3 months. It happened after April to June, and further 10 billion yen decrease planned during coming 3 months, meaning July to September, and probably another announcement of further cost down. Toyota is always strict and on cost reduction, and it is well known that the Toyota is always trying to reduce costs. Of course, Toyota is very advanced in technology and sales, global market, but at the same time, Toyota is very strict about cost reduction. Next slide, please. And I'll briefly explain the concept of the Toyota production system. Essence of Toyota production system, TPS, is comprised of elimination of waste, and it is defined in 7 areas of the waste: overproduction and waste of inventory, idle time, waste of transportation and defective production, waste of motion, and waste of processing itself. And in Toyota's belief or philosophy, if we identify some problem, it is sort of the problem of the ice we can see on top of water. There is a big portion of ice below water that is the root cause of the waste. So if we can identify only 10% of the waste, then Toyota's way of thinking is still we have 90% underwater to tackle to reduce the cost. That is a sort of the Toyota's normal way, daily thinking. And some people do not like Toyota because Toyota is too strict about the cost reduction. But what I want to say is that Toyota is very strict about the cost reduction. Therefore, when the situation, sales situation, market situation became not favorable, not optimistic by this coronavirus situation, still Toyota's belief is to continue Toyota production system reducing cost as if it were normal daily situation. I don't mean that the current corona situation is daily normal, but for Toyota, there is of course there's a big change, but at least manufacturing is concerned, Toyota's belief is just reduce costs as if it is a sort of a normal Toyota's practice of reducing cost or eliminating waste. Of course, Toyota will invest big amount of money about the automobile technology, automated driving, and other investment. But at the same time, Toyota is very strict about the cost reduction. That is one example of our way of thinking about the manufacturing, how we should react to coronavirus situation. And I'd like to say, next slide, please. Why Toyota's Toyota way of thinking is important. Toyota's way of the production system, TPS, was first published in book in 1978 by the vice president of the Toyota Automobile at that time, meaning that the continuously Toyota is active about the cost reduction for 40 years or over 40 years. And Toyota is TPS, Toyota Production System, reduction of waste and cost reduction is still the strong belief or philosophy of Toyota Automobile Company, the whole entire Toyota. Toyota's spirit in all departments, even the procurement or sales, administrative, all departments, TPS is the way of the working life for Toyota. So some people will prefer Nissan rather than Toyota because Nissan is a very active about automobile or automated driving, and Toyota is just doing is trying to do cost reduction too much, and so if we think of the dream, then some people do not like Toyota, and some people prefer other automobile companies. But this continuity for over 40 years means a lot for the corporate culture, strength, and fundamental capability. That is my belief. And if we compare the current situation with other automakers, Nissan, Mitsubishi, Honda, Mazda, these companies are still in difficulty, especially Nissan, Mitsubishi. These two companies are very difficult in today's COVID situation, and sales will be decreased up to 30 to 40% toward the end of this year. This is the big difference with the Toyota. And I don't say that Toyota is very good company or very I like Toyota or so much. That is not the way of my assertion. Prolonged, continuous activity is very important. And I'd like to talk about another example, if time allows. That is next slide, please. That is the case of the Nabea Biotech Kaisha company, NPK, which was established in 1560. It is nearly over 400 years ago. It is a family business started in over 400 years ago in Japan. It is main business is casting, and still the one company in the group is NBK, which is a very small, medium-sized company, only 300 employees, 7 billion yen sales, and producing pulley for the automobile and other machineries. And it is mainly a casting company. And next slide, please. Casting itself is not the attractive industry. there were 300 casting companies, casting manufacturers in Japan in 1993, and it has decreased to 60%. 1,800 companies in 20 years. 2014, we have counted only 1,800 companies. It means that this industry is not so growing, rather decreasing, not profitable, but still NBK is sticking the original business. And NBK, Nabea Biotech, is very unique about the one size order, very small lot. They decline, they refuse large orders. Orders of the over 30 pieces, they say no. They prefer only one piece. They welcome one piece order. And that is a very niche, small market, but they don't allow any price reduction. They produce just one piece and another one piece of different design and different size, another one piece. That is the way of their business. It means that the manufacturing is occupied by changeovers. Well, one piece changeover, one piece changeover, and we have to pay attention to the depreciation and machine utilization ratio. Otherwise, the company cannot be profitable. And the former president, Mr. Okamoto, has changed his way of thinking toward machineries to be produced in-house. There is no finishing machines purchased from outside. If we purchase for finishing lathe from outside manufacturers, it costs about 10 million yen for NC lathe per machine, but they produce NC machines, NC lathe in-house with the cost of only 1/5, 2 million per machine. And they have done this effort for over 10 years. And after 10 years, they have developed new machinery, which is called a sort of a two-chuck machinery, which has the function of 5 lathes with a single machine. And it means that the two-chuck machine means the 4 million yen for 5 lathe functions, meaning that the total of 10 million 5 machines can be replaced by 4 million yen two-chuck single machine. And so depreciation cost is very nominal, small amount. And they don't care about the machine utilization because changeover is welcome. There is no worry about the machine utilization. One piece production and machine can be idle, and the workers will move to another island, another machine, and we produce 1 piece or 2 pieces, then move to another island, another machine. That is okay for that company. And the thing I want to say is that the company has spent over 20 years to come to that situation. At the beginning, the president, Mr. Okamoto, has declared that they refuse big orders. Instead, they prefer just the one-piece order. And after that, they started in-house machinery production. And they have dedicated their effort for over 20 years. And currently, the company is quite successful, profitable. And what I want to say is that with the over 20 years of continuous effort for machinery development activity, including engineering expertise for that company, currently the company is very successful. And they have now opened currently a new factory in China and doing another business in China. Again, the company is very profitable and sales has increased with big amount. And with this current coronavirus influence, impact, the company is enjoying big profit. That is my teaching point, and that is another case of the NPK. And I don't mean to say that these companies are representative companies, or we need to learn things too much from these companies, or I don't mean to deny Nissan and other casting companies. But the important thing is that we continue our effort. We need to continue our effort. Instead, with this, with today's very serious, prolonged situation of coronavirus, we tend to think about the very pessimistic future, and IT can may be able to replace our human work, and the virtual can replace face-to-face teaching and things like that. But the important thing is, in my understanding, there are several important things. One is continuity, consistency. Rather than thinking about how to react from now on, companies should be able to prepare far in advance from what we call normal situation about the cost structure or quality, delivery, productivity. Otherwise, if something wrong or something bad happens, then we need to worry about how to react. Then we maybe float around, we lose our essential footprint standpoint. Then we try to find some interesting, attractive industry or attractive product, new technology that will further create confusion about the future of especially manufacturing companies. That is my understanding. Therefore, companies should always prepare quality improvement, cost reduction, delivery and inventory reduction from normal situations. And David, could you kindly move to page 14 of the slides? That's the summary.
Summary at the end.
Yeah, summary in the page 5 summary.
The last slide?
Not the last, page 14.
Page 14, sorry. There we go.
Yeah, thank you. This horizontal means the same horizontal as in my previous slide. Past with Corona, and the last dotted line means the future, post-Corona. But I want to insist that the first point, which I regard important, is consistency, continuity. Rather than floating around, we need to pay attention to the cost reduction and the improvement activities, Kaizen, these things, even from the past. Past means at present. And with Corona situation, we need to continue this sort of endeavor effort. And second point is wisdom, save cost. Well, rather than using a big amount for the new IT system or machineries, wisdom may create new ideas and we can save cost. The third thing I want to say in today's talk is solidarity, top management operators, relationship, communication. in Toyota top management people or executive people, they visit shop floors quite often. In Nabeya by the company, well, president 3 times visited factory every day. So top management and operators, shop floor people are very closely connected. Opinion changes happen very very frequently. And the fourth thing I want to say, this is a bit touchy point, is smell of the shop floor, smell or atmosphere, which cannot be replaced by virtual. I have a lot of occasions to visit shop floors, factories, even with the corona situation. And I enjoy shop floors very much. And I enjoy smell, atmosphere, communication with shop floor people. So we need to pay attention about the new way of communication. And at the same time, we need to pay attention to the smell of the shop floor or site. Even in sales and marketing, we need to keep in mind the importance of smell of workers, salespeople, marketing people. Otherwise, top management and line workers, operators, salespeople are not closely related, and companies may start floating around. Top management will think about new strategy, and shop floor people are confused. So we need to prevent that sort of confusion. That is my philosophy, and that is what I wanted to tell you during my talk. I have passed 2 minutes over my assigned time. Thank you very much for your attention.
In fact, we still have 12 minutes left for questions. My apologies. 1 or 2 technical hitches this side. Dean Kono had to send me his presentation because we couldn't get it up on his screen, and I couldn't show that presentation in full screen mode, but I hope everybody's been able to read it. But we have had some questions come in, and maybe I can just put this to these two Dean Kono. So Dean, the first question, gentleman asks, Ahmed asks, I'm in operations and find that culture plays an important role in driving lean principles. What advice can you provide in addressing this? Okay,
frankly speaking, if I say that Japanese people are sometimes care about details and in some way disciplined or well trained or very very obedient, following the corporate culture. But I have gone to many factories, companies in foreign countries, and I find frequently that sometimes, for example, Italian operators do 5S cleanliness much better than Japanese factories. And that's true in China. And so, actually, nationality or people play an important part, but I don't believe that this sort of lean production is a specialty of Japan. That is my belief. And I find some companies in, for example, Turkey, doing very well about maintenance activity, world class. Only 5 companies has been awarded total productive maintenance world class award, and 2 companies from Turkey. Meaning that Japan is of course very well known about productive maintenance, but at the same time, companies in Turkey are doing very well, and Italy same. So I don't believe that the nationality or culture play an important role, but that is not 100%. I would say 50% or something, and the rest half, 50%, may be dependent on corporate culture or attitude of top management. That is my belief.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Alberto says, what is your thought about the transition from the visual information using papers and boards to digital using screens?
Yeah. Yes. Well, if information or tables and pictures and these things are concerned, well, I would like to say I can say that the digital can replace face-to-face communication, or digital might be better. But one important thing, as I said in my talk, that is a sort of a smell, feeling, smile, or bad atmosphere sometimes, or enriched communication, very active or something like that. This sort of the atmosphere smell, we cannot find its smell of manufacturing sites on the screen. It's quite difficult. Sometimes we can find, but it's quite difficult. So frankly speaking, we need to pay attention to this sort of the importance of smell or atmosphere or face. Well, people are chatting with smile, or on the screen, people are looking at the screen, but they are not with smile. We need to pay attention to this sort of details. That is my feeling. And today's virtual online communication tools or advancement of these tools may tell us the importance of recognizing the importance of in-person touch or communication. That is my understanding. Therefore, I personally think that it is not wise to distinguish our communication to digital versus in-person, face-to-face versus online. We can mix up, and sometimes online is better. And at the same time, we need to pay attention to the importance of face-to-face, but not for a long time. Limited number of people can visit sites. Therefore, this sort of constraint exists, but we need to pay attention to the balance of these two ways. That is my understanding.
A question from Modesty, who I think is in South Africa. How do we control continuous improvement? Improvement requires resources that we don't have at the moment, and the changes just become too much even if it is to improve. Where do you draw the line?
Okay, the most important thing is the understanding, recognition by the top management. So if the attitude, way of thinking of the top management can be changed, then things may happen. Therefore, we visit many factories to encourage these factories to start improvement activities. And the important thing is the talk or persuasion to the top management or factory manager or even the top management of the company. Otherwise, it's quite difficult to start this sort of the continuous improvement activity. That is my first advice. And another thing I want to say is that we should start just a very easy step, cleaning the shop floor or cleaning the office. It's not difficult, not difficult technology or not difficult methodology or no textbook is required. Just clean up my place or your place, your office, your desk. That is a sort of starting point. Your machine is this machine. You should clean up this machine, and you can then identify some problems or defective area, defective sound, strange motions, strange sound, oil peeling out from the machine. Then we go to some engineering reactions. In that way, well, activities can go to engineering activities to be started from just clean up. That is very important. That's my way of thinking, and many companies do the same thing in China, Japan, and Southeast Asian countries.
We only have a few minutes left. So a question from Shoko, who I presume is in Japan. Under COVID-19, we noted the huge impact on supply chains, i.e. from China. And it looks like some opposite movement against globalization, as some countries could be isolating from the world. How can Japanese manufacturing companies be sustainable with us and get a stable supply chain?
Well, probably, frankly speaking, it's quite difficult. To some extent, frankly, it's difficult. But at the same time, if we say that the global supply chain is the problem or discussion should start why we need to have global supply chain. That is probably the starting point. If we can produce all parts within Japan or within China, everything can be completed in China, that's okay. But that's not feasible. That's not realistic, and that's not feasible from the viewpoint of economy and technology and human skill and a scale. From all aspects, it's not feasible. Therefore, we need to divide works to different countries. That is my understanding. Therefore, if some country tries to close the border, then the economy or manufacturing company in that country will suffer, will receive bad damages. Rather, we should open our border and welcome incoming parts from China and utilizing these parts, and expect things to India and Europe. That's the sort of the natural division of labor. That is my understanding. Therefore, it's of course currently quite difficult to travel to foreign countries at present, but in this side, we can utilize online, for example, machine maintenance activities or online cooperative machine development or things like that. Therefore, we should not close the border. That will make the economy of that company smaller, and finally manufacturing companies in that country will suffer. That is my understanding.
And just one final question to finish. I'm just paraphrasing what Lara has asked. She says, what do you think is the most important learning for Japanese companies at this particular moment? Because Japanese companies have a reputation of being quick to adapt and so on and so forth. So what do you think is the most important learning for Japanese countries in the middle of this pandemic?
All right. I'd like to say we need to pay attention to the not the catchy day-to-day activities, the importance of day-to-day accumulation of day-to-day activities. Otherwise, we may be surprised by this coronavirus or earthquake, typhoon, quite similar. And we need to try to find some solutions, but solutions are not in our hands. That is my belief. Therefore, we need to pay attention to the importance of daily accumulation of activities. That is my answer.